Alrighty, we are live, folks. My name is Yusuf, CEO of Flory.io, the best sales tool for home service flooring businesses and rug e-commerce companies to sell more product. I've got a very interesting guest today. Actually, I was on the phone with him the other day, and I'm going to bring him in right now, and so he can hear this very nice intro. Chris, what is going on?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Chris, welcome, mate. I'm just hyping you up on this intro here. So I called Chris the other day just to check in on how he's doing. He's one of my earlier customers for Flory, and he's always up to something. So he's building a showroom. Last I heard, showroom's doing well. Now he's got this awesome invention that he's created for flooring installers. It's a very interesting tool, guys. This is the Flooring Growth Hacks podcast with your host, Yusuf, and we are in the building with Chris Franklin from Functional Stairs. Chris, how you doing?
Very good. Thanks, man. Appreciate the intro.
Yes, man. Yes. Excited to hear about what you got today. So, I think, maybe you can give us some background on what you developed, what the initial pain was in your business. I think that's where every invention starts. It's some sort of pain point. So walk us through, we just kind of want to know, how did you invent something in this space, right? I think a lot of people think it might take a lot of money or time, and they're not an engineer, or they're not, good mechanically, but they have an idea for a tool that'll help streamline their installation process, or maybe even create, for suppliers out there, they might want to make, different materials, things like that. How did, just take us from A to Z, mate? I mean, it's very, interesting to hear about. From my standpoint,
So I guess I'll show you what we did first, and then I'll tell you why we did it. I guess that sound good. So basically, for vinyl stairs, right? So we made we made stair treads that slides right over the top of the step, so you can match the rest of your floor. But just to give you some background, I guess I've owned my flooring company since 2010, so it's been like almost 14 years now. And then just recently we opened up a store. Prior to that, we were mostly refinishing, and now that we have a store, we do sell a lot of product, which got us into like vinyl flooring. And so what everybody does, you install a whole house full of vinyl floors, and then you want to match your stairs, right? So one of the main options that everybody uses is the overlap stair nosing, and it hasn't changed in 50 years. Like it's kind of a joke, but it's like, this is your grandma's stairs. You ever, I don't know if you've seen this in your basement. It's like, this is the thing, and that's it. Just so ugly, and it just, this is our like battle against overlap stair nosing. So they fall off, they break, and they don't match. All those reasons. So it came out of necessity. Like we need a better solution. And then, a side note, also, we had a whole brand new store to pay for. So I needed another solution to help, generate some income. So there's kind of it's twofold. So it was during COVID, and, we were trying to keep busy, trying to keep the store afloat. And, when we did get a job, we didn't want to be held up by the manufacturers who would take a month to send us their product. And, our customers don't want to wait a month. And when they did, we finally, it comes in 30 days later, and it doesn't match. And that's a huge headache, right? So we're desperate for jobs here, and we got a stair nosing that finally came in. It was super expensive, even our costs, especially our customers' costs, and it doesn't match. It's not out of the same die lots or, whatever. We need something that, we installed 1,000 square foot in this house. I want to be able to pull it out of the exact same box, just to guarantee, and turn that into a stair tread. And that's kind of where we went with this. So that's how it started. You want me to just keep going? You have another question?
Yeah. So you had a problem, right? So immediately you're saying, hey, I don't want to wait to close these deals on, get these deals installed. People are flaking out. So that was the initial problem. And you said, hey, let's take matters into my own hands, for lack of better terms, screw the supplier, right? We don't need to wait for their contract, nosings and moldings guys to send you, something after 30, 40 days, right? So you went in and said, let's fix it ourselves. What was the first thing that, did you think it was immediately doable? How did you identify this was something
I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it. I originally thought it was going to be a lot easier than what it was. It was, I thought we would just, take out the old heat gun and start melting away and bending. And, whenever I hear someone, I've heard the story because we've told the story obviously a bunch of times. They're like, oh yeah, my uncle does that. Like he does it in his garage. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, we can do one every 45 seconds and ours are like consistent, right? It's the same shape every single time. Your uncle takes probably 2 hours to do one of them with his heat gun and they all look different. Like that's not what our customers want. We want a product that's, we can do quickly and, turn it around next day out of the same exact product out of the box, so that's what we set forward to do, I guess. And it was just like a crazy obsession of mine where I do like the engineering part of it. I am in flooring, but, ever since I got the store, it was like, it just really allowed me to just go crazy with all my, crazy engineering, stupid projects. And yes, any of the guys here at the store, just, we put wheels on everything, but like, it's just, how do we make something better? Like our number one step is throw wheels on it. Like I'm sitting on a couch right now, it has wheels on it. Just stupid stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's
awesome. So it was like, Friday night date night with my wife, and we're just sitting at the table, and I had this new idea of like how we could, make this happen. And she could just tell that's all I'm thinking about. She's like, you want to just go to the shop and we'll work on it. And so at like midnight, my wife and I are like melting vinyl at the shop.
Oh man, your wife,
things like
your wife too.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a proud moment that she came in and helped for a little bit. So it's cool.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's so cool. That's hard to find, folks. Chris, we'll have you on next time on how to find an amazing partner. That's got to be rare, mate. That's got to be rare. For someone who's not an engineer, who's not just going to go start tinkering around, is tinkering around the best way to start, or should someone make diagrams and stuff like that on paper or at least on a computer tool and then give it to an engineer? Like let's say you weren't so let's say you weren't so good with your hands, right? Well, how would you have went about this process?
I think that's how most people would go about it. Like most engineers would say, you should have a plan, and I'm very much the opposite. I am hands-on, and let's just do it, because we break stuff and we'll just try new things and waste it's really fun to me, so it's okay, I think, and I just can see the bigger picture. We'll make it worth it in the end. But yeah, we waste a ton of money, and and not a ton, we're doing it ourselves, right? But Amazon's my best friend. We buy stuff all the time on Amazon, and just I'm thinking about a new way to do something. I order on Amazon, it's there the next day, and we're putting things together and taking this and this and putting that together, and some of it works and most of it doesn't. But
so you do suggest just tinkering, going in, just trying stuff, right?
That's what I do. I almost never have a plan. I just go into it hot and just see what happens.
That's awesome.
I mean, I do, I'll have a little sketch pad when I'm watching TV at night or something like that. I'll draw some things up, and it's really rough. I mean, you would laugh if you saw some of my drawings. They're not fancy. They're just, no one can tell but me what it is. And if I look back a month from now, I can't even tell what it is,
Yeah, that's okay. That's the process. Okay. So if someone's out there, just start tinkering. If you don't have somebody to tinker, or if you're not the tinkerer, would you suggest hiring somebody, or someone from your team that is particularly handy, give them some extra money to work on this, on the weekends and things like that? How did you make the decision to do it during work hours? That's another good question.
Like I said, we have a store and it's not very busy here. There's not been one customer in here since we started this podcast. So we got like 4 guys that are in here, and they need something to do to keep them busy. So I definitely push the be creative side of things. You know, we just want that kind of atmosphere where it's okay to try new things, and a lot of them don't work, and then move on to the next one. But I think it's just building that atmosphere, like or that what's the word I'm looking for, like that kind of company, you know, just that
The
feels
culture, right?
comfortable. Just that thank you, culture. That kind of culture where it's just like, there's got to be a better way. Can we improve it? I mean, there's like I've got a big, huge wall over here that just says, you know, the innovation station. It's like if you can, if it's going to improve it by at least 10%, it's worth it. You know, take the time to do it. Spend the money to do it. Because if you do the same thing over and over and over, and you shave 10% of time off of it, it's worth it. If you're doing it like 1,000 times in a year, and you can just, cut 3 minutes off of it each time, that's worth it, right?
100%, 100%. Are you able to show us that innovation station that you're talking about?
Little, yeah.
Cool. That sounds awesome. That sounds cool.
It's got like, this. It's like innovation. It's cookie there, but
nice.
Can it be improved by 10%? Yes. Then let's do it. If not, let's keep trying, and then basically try it again. So we just have, little 3D printer over here, and another respirator project that is half being worked on, which I think is a really good idea, and we just haven't got back into that.
Can you show that banner one more time up close, because I've zoomed out for the people watching.
Okay.
That is just awesome, man. What a great way to just, how did you just, I mean, I feel like very few people make those, they go the extra mile like that. I mean, how did you decide to go make a poster board for that? I mean, that's
I don't know. We said it a bunch of times. Like, it's kind of like something that we say all the time. Like, that's kind of our mantra, I guess, at this point. So let's just let's post it up there. I think it's kind of cool. Although most people, if they don't know what I'm talking about, 10% doesn't sound like a lot, If I'm doing someone's floors, they're not happy about paying for 10% better, but that's not what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about the process, improving processes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Love it. So Chris, started tinkering around. How long did it take for you guys to make something like this? I know you told me a little bit before when we were on the phone.
Well, I mean, it's a constant. We're constantly improving on it even now, but it was pretty hardcore, like, obsession for like 6 months before we really had anything to show. There were so many days that it was like, we solved it. Like, there's this one I thought was like the best idea. Like, we bought this, like, invested on compared to everything else, we spent a bit of money on this light table, and it was like this heat light table, right? So it was like 58 inches, and it's like a ray of light that comes out of this thing, and it emits heat, right? So we set up this reciprocating arm that would grab the piece of, hold on to a piece of vinyl flooring, and we just set the amount of motions and the speed it went across that light to like the perfect. It was like 32 reps in 20 seconds or something like that, whatever it was. It was just the perfect amount of time and speed to go across this to get just enough heat to bend it, I thought. And we did like a small sample, like a foot long, and it worked perfectly. And I was so excited. I went home that night like I just like invented time travel or something, And then the very next day I came back and tried a full size one, and it did not work. It just wasn't consistent heat at the ends, So it's just like, scrap that whole idea. And there's been so many, like close calls like that where I think I finally got it, and it's not there. And a lot of times it's just like you just feel like giving up, and then I sleep on it, and the next day I'm ready to go again, I feel like. So
that's awesome. I love it, mate. So I'm going to share a screen so people can see kind of what we are talking about here. I think they'll find it pretty interesting to see a representation of it. Can you see the screen there, Chris?
I can see, yeah.
Perfect. I'm gonna
not excited about me there, but that's cool.
Yeah, come on, man. You look good, man. You look good. So you can kind of see here in a second how this works, but So it's just automatically making those stair noses here out of an existing plank. So, you don't need to wait for anybody, to send over the moldings for the stairs. And this is huge. I mean, this is huge. I think this one doesn't show the machine.
I don't think I showed the machine ever, but
what you said?
I don't think I showed the machine ever, but
okay. No, love it. So you were talking about the process of, finding out how much time it should spend, as it's getting heated up, right?
Yeah.
And it's just an everyday thing, right? You're constantly improving this system, right?
Yeah, and it's like solving. I mean, we're always, I guess. So originally it was like we were trying to decide. All of our in-house guys or a couple of our sales guys were like, we should keep this just for ourselves. It's just, this is our thing, and I was like, I mean, we put a lot of money and time into, research and development on this thing. And I've got a store to pay for. And I really thought it'd be better if we pushed it out to, other flooring companies. And I think it was the right decision. So now we have just a sales guy that just does the stairs now. And he goes to all the stores, all of our local stores buy from us. And we're trying to expand out from there. But with all these different stores, they all have different needs and they, come with different problems. So the fun's not over yet. Right. So we had every day is like a new problem to solve or, so I don't want to say no to anyone. Like we want to figure it out. We have people that come with laminate, it's not vinyl. It doesn't bend. It's not, a plastic material. So we figured out a solution to build a process to make, steps out of laminate flooring as well. And that was pretty cool. That was recently. And then there's the real thin, like glue down for like commercial, because there's a lot of steps commercially, like multifamily housing and things like that. And we had a bigger, nationwide company nearby that came to us asking for like 800 steps for one project. That was pretty early on. And they wanted it out of this 2 millimeter glue down, and it won't hold its form because it's so thin. It's not like the rigid core like the rest of it that I've shown you. So we needed to find a solution, and we did find a pretty awesome solution. It was a lot of work getting there, but that's the fun of it. That's what I love.
I love that, mate. Absolutely love that. So, so for somebody here, I mean, your suggestion, just be brave, spend a few grand on some DIY stuff, get somebody extra from the shop, or from the crew to work on it as an innovation project. We have innovation projects at Flory all the time. So we can relate to that. That's such a good thing. Is there somebody that is it your baby or did you give it to someone else? Like, is there someone else that is as prideful about the process as you, or are you the prideful driver?
No, I think everybody that's been in this, there's like 4 of us. 2 of them just went home for the day at 4:00 here, but it's like 4 of us that really have been involved like right from the beginning. I mean, I would say I'm probably the most obsessed. Of
course,
but Alex here, he just went home and he's the first and only full-time functional stairs employee, right? So we have functional floors and this is functional stairs. He's the only employee for functional stairs. So he is like into it, and all the time. So he's thinking of new ways to improve and speed up the process and just make it better for the customer so we can get them stairs when they want it. So it's like building a product is way different than building a company. That's 2 different things for sure. So a lot of people can have like a product, but if you don't have a company behind it, like the service is horrible. Like you're not getting the product to the people, so that's been a whole nother, fun struggle, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. So we've kind of gone over, how to get started. How are you going about commercializing and getting your first few customers? I mean, you kind of are your first customer, right?
So we've done a lot of testing here, ourselves.
Yeah.
But
so solve your own problem, number 1, right? It's a great rule. Solve your own problem, and then from there,
so
how are you getting?
One of the ways of getting number one, the easy one that we can do every single day is just go to different stores. And, honestly, like, that's how I knew that this was a good product, is every store we go into, we bring them, this, and they're like, wow, heck yeah, that's super cool. And everyone seems to have like a project that they're working on right that second. It just happens every time we do these runs. We do like, 4 stores, like every store is like totally into it. And that's exciting. The other place is just home shows. Like, so we have our own booth usually at a home show to sell our, our flooring services. But like if if it slows down or something, we'll go around to all the other, flooring companies that are also at this home show, and we'll walk around with our stairs. And, at first it's awkward because they think I'm selling them something, which I am, but then they're like all into it. And I was telling you the other day, it's like, I walk around there and I feel like a rock star. It's like, everyone loves it. It's cool.
That's great. And that's when you have a good product, right? When it sells itself and you don't feel like a salesperson, right, for selling it.
Yeah. It just solves so many problems. It's like the cost and the weight and, the problems with matching, all of those things. Like everyone that does what I do have the same problems, right? So it's an awesome solution, and it just makes sense.
No, I love it. So first few customers, I mean, just internal, networking with all the other business owners that you might know in the area, and then at home shows. That's great. Are you guys starting to get in like a true sales team going, or are you too early for that? Or, when do you get, someone calling all day, for example?
Yeah, that's where we want to go. So like I said, we have one true salesperson, but it's also the true salesperson that makes them. So it's we can put out 150 steps in a day, easy already, just with this one person. But, we're trying to get it to be a little bit more consistent, and it's still very early, right? So it's growing a lot faster than Functional Floors, my flooring company, did. So it's off to a good start. But, I have pretty high expectations, and we're not there yet. So
Fair enough. I mean, you can always grab like a rep from, supplier and be like, hey,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can do it. I just don't know that we're ready to, that we can.
So that's another good question. When will you be ready? And what, for someone that is in the process of, commercializing some sort of side product or something like that, when do you think that when you should start actually, scaling the business and really grabbing customers?
I mean, I think we're right about at that point right now where it's with the one person, it just doesn't make sense anymore, where he's doing, all the time he's spending here making it, he can't be selling it, right? So it's just like you have a big 1,000-step order, and that's great. But then once that dries up, you haven't been out selling, so, that's good for, a few days or whatever, but then you need more. So we really need somebody in here, and the process is so easy now, so anyone can do it with our machine. So we really just need to get somebody in here to do that. That's probably going to happen pretty quick. I would say maybe a month.
Okay. So the goal is take the lead guy and like have him clone himself for just the production side, which is super easy. And then have him slam the phones basically is the move. Is that?
Get on the road and start, going out there. So like Flooring Decor, that's one that we're really trying to get into. They found us at the, one of the main business manager, like head of business management in one of the local stores here, saw our product at a home show, and she was super excited, just like everyone else. And she's trying to get us, on her shelves. And if we can get in there, can we get in all the other stores? Can we get in Home Depot and Menards? Like,
and you're gonna sell the machine, or are you gonna sell?
I don't want to sell the machine. I don't think.
Okay, so you're purely selling the service, basically, right?
Yeah, we want to go to, stock stores. It's just, hey guys, I'm on a podcast. So we want to be able to stock the shelves of stores. It's easier to sell stairs, and if they're like right there, on your shelves and ready to go, and you're not waiting for anything. So
yes, 100%. So are they going to send you the material and you send it back, or are you going to just show up next to them on site and just process everything there? What have you thought about that?
Right now we're materials being sent and materials being sent back. So
Okay.
whether that's via
It
truck,
doesn't
which
eat
mostly
shipping.
it is now, or yeah.
Shipping doesn't eat too much into the margins for that to be annoying. I guess.
Well, like I said, everything's pretty local right now,
Yeah.
so that
Okay.
will become a yeah. I'm sure it will eat into some of the margins. We'll probably have to make some adjustments for that.
Cool. No, that's awesome. The question I was asking earlier, Chris, was like, when do you know, like, just generally for, as a guide, that you should start scaling it? Because a lot of people are, oh, my website's not ready. I don't want to turn ads on. Oh, it's almost there. How do you know, like, okay, you've got to just get customers?
Well, I mean, kind of like my approach to, you asked me earlier if I draw it out and map it. I kind of just go at it like full speed, and then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. That's my approach, right? So I always think I'm ready, and I never say no. Like someone's got a crazy project, like and with a deadline, like all right, let's do it. Now we're gonna figure it out right now. So I like that kind of pressure. But that's just me. I think a lot of people will probably drag their feet and wait till everything's just right and do all that. That's not me though.
Fair enough. The gunslinger method. Okay. So I know you got to go soon. Really quick. If somebody wants to build something, uh, but doesn't have somebody on the team that can do it as a side project and isn't very technical themselves, what should and could they do to get something going, a prototype going? What would be a good route?
I mean, just look for someone that's creative and that likes it. I think it's a fun thing to do. So if you can find someone that's, a little creative and likes to tinker and, um, just looks for efficiency. Like it's all about efficiency. I don't know. Most of the process is all about efficiency, like trying to figure out faster ways or better ways of doing things. So if there's somebody that already thinks that way, that's the guy you want. Someone that's
So,
creative and thinks about that.
so let's just say I have no clue where to find this person. Is it like a Craigslist post? Is it a Facebook group post in like a mechanic forum, or like, or a Facebook group? Like where, like, imagine, I have no clue where to find this person. Where would you go about that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess I don't have the right answer for that one. I just need, yeah, I don't know, because I haven't found someone exactly like that yet myself. So, if you find out, let me know.
Okay, so it's got to be, you do it when you have the connections, right? So, it's
I would
important.
ask around. Yeah, I mean, knowing people that know other people would probably be a good start. Or I mean, of course, you can just put out, up a posting, I guess, somewhere, and maybe that will work. But it seems like it's hit and miss. But knowing
Yeah,
people that know people that like that, I feel like is the best way.
for sure. And then I think that speaks to another aspect of this whole thing, and that is, you know, do something that right, well, right. So that's why they always say Warren Buffett, oh, he doesn't invest in tech. They say it's because he doesn't understand it. And he says, I don't fully understand this, so I'm not going to invest in it. So, I think that if you do have a great idea that's drastically out of your expertise and wheelhouse, most likely, getting some more experience and talking to those people and validating the idea is probably super important, just so that what you're building is useful, and that you get some advice on how to build it. So,
Absolutely. Like a quick example of just like what you're saying is my wife the other day said, "Oh, you should invent like I need this. What is it called? The lens, not glasses, but the can't think of it right now. Just sticks on your eye. What is that called?
contact lenses.
Yeah, contact. She wanted this special contact lens. They don't make anymore. Like you should build a company that does that. Like yeah, but I don't know anything about eyes, and I'm not in it. Like that's not like that would not be a good one for me, right? So it just do something that you're already into that where where you're solving problems and where you're not. So if you don't know anything about it, you probably don't have any right to be to working on it, right?
That's for sure. Or, and find a business partner that, can actually drive that side of the coin, right? So I'm not technical. I found a business partner, my CTO, who handles all that stuff, right? And, I trust him. He gives us updates, and we communicate back and forth, and it's that simple. So, I mean, that's another thought, right? It's like, if you're not the right guy, but maybe you have the business connections and you've got some cash, and, you have an idea of how the product should work, then you can find a technical, co-founder and partner to take it to the next step. Cool. So Chris, last thing to add here for the people watching, how can any other tips for going from A to Z on actually inventing something, a new tool or a new system for a particular industry? Any other like tidbits that we didn't talk about that you thought, the patent process perhaps, and we didn't really talk about that? What anything specific do you want to leave?
I mean, you definitely want to find a good patent attorney, I guess, that can, kind of understand what you're doing. And that was helpful having that. I think it's just having the right motivation. Like, it's got to be something that you really, really, really want to do. Otherwise, you're not going to be driven yourself to do it. So it's got to be something that you're really excited about, and that's all you think about, right? And that's how things get done.
Love it. That's great. Chris, thank you so much. Chris Franklin from Functional Stairs. He is here. He's told his story about how to go from flooring business owner to inventor. Chris, we're looking forward to seeing more from Functional Stairs. Where can people find out more?
Our website, functionalstairs.com, but it's just was corrupted, so it's really bad timing for that. So it should be up. He keeps telling me by the end of the day, so hopefully by tomorrow. But yes, that's the website.
That's great, sir. But
great. Also on Facebook, it's still under the Functional Floors. We have some things, and we'll be expanding on all that too. Probably have its own separate Facebook and everything soon. So
great. That's great. And then Chris, if anybody's interested here, if they're a supplier or if they run a store and could really benefit from this, what's a good email for them to reach out?
So Chris, CHRIS.F@functionalfloors.com.
Cool. I'm just putting that on screen here in a moment. Guys, Chris.F@functionalfloors.com. Out there in Michigan doing some God's work here when it comes to the technical side here. So thank you so much, Chris, for being on this.
Awesome. Thanks for the opportunity, man. I appreciate it.
Join the podcast here. That is it, folks. Thank you so much for joining us here today. See you, Chris.
See you, man. Thank you so much.
See you, brother. How you going? All right, folks. That wraps up this episode of the Flooring Growth Hacks podcast. Hopefully you learned a little bit about how to take an idea to an invention. It's not easy. But at the same time, everything's doable, right? If you're watching this, most likely that mindset has driven you to the place you are right now. So keep on pushing. We support you here at Flory. If you need anything, you can always reach out to me personally at Yousef, YOUSEF @FLOORI.io, or just call us on the website. Folks, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.